Coach, you want to tell me about your career and how'd you start playing baseball?
Well, through my father. He was 30 years in the Navy. He came from Norway, and when he came to the United States, he got interested in baseball. And he was in baseball since the day he died, and he's the one that got me going. I went to the ball games back in New York, back in Boston, San Diego, and played catch with me out in the street. And that's what got me started. The love of the game through him.
Wow. So where'd you play high school baseball at?
A place called La Jolla in San Diego.
Okay.
And we were quite good. We had 8 out of 9 guys signed professionally in those 2-year span.
Oh wow. So your senior year you got signed?
I signed right at the night I graduated. I signed, and I was playing the very next day in Fresno, California League.
In the PCL?
No, it was the California League then.
Oh, okay.
So things are different back then. In the 50s, Fresno, which is AAA today, was a C-ball. In those days they had rookie, D, C, B, A, AA, AAA. It was easier to play in those days because they had so many more teams.
Oh, okay. And you played in the California League for how long?
I was just there 1 year. Then I went to the Cotton State Leagues, the 3I League, the Southern League. Played all over.
Wow, and then you ended up playing in the PCL after that?
Well, that was first 2 years. Then I went in the Marine Corps for 2 years. We had to go in those days. Either be drafted or volunteer for the draft. So I went to the Marine Corps. They told me I could play down there for 2 years, right in San Diego, my hometown. And then when I got out, I was with the Yankees then.
Yankees farm
club, yeah, yes. And they could carry so many ex-servicemen at that time in the 50s, where they wouldn't be a detriment to the roster.
Okay.
In other words, you can only carry so many veterans, so many rookies, and so many limited servicemen. But veterans, they could carry X number of them.
Oh, wow.
So it was a different time in the 50s.
Yeah, I bet. Did you ever play with anybody that went on to have big careers in the major leagues?
Well, I thought so.
Don't be modest now, don't be modest.
16 of them, I'm proud of those guys, made the big leagues. It was common knowledge that if you want to go to the big leagues, room with Olson. See, we were wrapped in those days, locked in rather, with the ball club. There was no free agency. So you were with that one ball club throughout your career unless you get sold, released, or traded.
Oh, wow. Who were some of your roommates?
John McNamara, Lou Krause, Dick Green, John O'Donohue, Darren Johnson, Bill Stafford, Lee Thomas, Dan Osinski, Charlie Shoemaker. Who were some of the other ones right there? I'm trying to think offhand real quick. Jack Aker, Kenny Sanders. There was quite 16 of them.
Wow.
Great guys, great guys.
And I remember when I came down to see you down in San Diego, you said you played with Roger Maris?
Against Roger Maris in 1954 in the 3I League. That was B-ball then. He was playing with Keokuk, Iowa, which, the old 3I League. It had Louis Aparicio in it, Mudcat Grant, Harry Anderson, Tony Kubek, and Roger Maris. They had a lot of talent. B-ball.
Wow. And then, did you ever play spring training in the majors, or?
Yes, I was very fortunate to go to spring training twice. Once with the Yankees and once with Kansas City. That was the Kansas City A's at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got out of service, and I happened to have a couple of good days, so they let me go to spring training with the big club down in St. Petersburg.
Did you get to meet all the...
No, I was an outfielder then, and I had about as much chance of staying as going to the moon. I was a center fielder at the time. But I got to meet Mantle, and the nicest guy on 2 feet.
So you had a pretty tough competition at that position.
No competition, no competition at all. He just got through winning the Triple Crown.
Wow.
So from there, they sent me down to New Orleans. From there, they sent me to Binghamton.
And so throughout this whole, your career and everything, when did you start collecting autographs?
I actually started when I was a bat boy for the Padres. Maybe before that, I started collecting newspaper articles, making scrapbooks, and I found out how interesting that was. It'd be nice to get an autograph or two, because I was a baseball fan since day one, I can remember. And I really got into collecting autographs big time in 1949 when I was a bat boy for the San Diego Padres. I happened to be with them for 5 years, from the 8th grade to the 12th, the time I signed. And an awful lot of big league ball players went through the Coast League at the time. Archie Vaughan, Mel Ott, Rogers Hornsby, Johnny Vandermeer, Bucky Harris, quite a few of them. So I was obtaining autographs at that time.
Wow. And then after you retired from baseball, you coached at...
Yes, I didn't retire. I went on the voluntary retired list. I was all busted up from broken bones. And I was going to school in the off season. And I got hurt a couple times bad that I realized I can't play baseball the rest of my life, that I better get an education. I got the GI Bill. So the next best thing to playing was coaching. And I got to coach while I was in the minor leagues with John McNamara up at the Northwest League. And then I went to the Texas League, and I got to coach under Bobby Hoffman. And I got to manage a week there, too, because he had to go home and death in the family. And I took over the ball club. And I really realized that, hey, this is the next best thing to playing. So I pursued my education, and I knew I'd have a job in the off season. And then during the summer months, I could be probably coaching someplace.
And you won 500 games as a coach.
Yes, I was very fortunate. I had a lot of ball players go to the big leagues. Some are still playing today. And it was at the junior college level. Well, I started in the high school, and I was there for 10 years in a place called El Capitan High School in San Diego. And then from there, I got the job from an ex-teammate at the junior college. It's Grossmont Junior College. And I thought that was the way I wanted to finish up my career as a coach.
And so you collected autographs basically from 1949, 1950 up until recently.
Up until the present time, yes. And I took pride in it. And a lot of people were coming over. Ball players started it, would talk baseball. In the afternoon, I have practice, and if there was some fallacies in their swing, would show them on the television. Would tape their performance and so forth. And they'd come over that night, and they'd seen the memorabilia I had there, and they were fascinated. And word got around real fast, and more people started coming over, and then they realized that, hey, this guy got a lot of stuff that's interesting to see. And I'm a baseball trivia nut anyways. I love that. And so it was enjoyable to show it off and to talk baseball, and so much so, I got a class at the junior college to teach the history of baseball.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. How long did you teach that for?
10 years. And I was doing that full time until I retired. I had to retire from coaching because my father was very ill, and I promised him I wouldn't put him in a home. So I couldn't coach and take care of him at the same time. He was 104.
Wow.
So he passed away right after that. And I was a part-time instructor at the junior college. They took the full-time history of baseball away from me because I was only a part-timer then. Was
that a requirement for all your players? Did they have to take it?
No, they took it because they wanted to take it. There's a kid pitching for the California Angels right now, Sean O'Sullivan.
Okay.
Right-handed pitcher, just got called up earlier, about a month ago. Anyway, he took the class. He says the best class he ever had in school, and he's telling everybody about it. And I wasn't coaching there anymore, but he took the word of mouth got around real fast, so they all took the class. And it only held like 35 in the room, and we had as many as 70 people at one time in the classroom.
Wow, pretty popular class. I can't think of a better college course to take.
Well, I think it has to do with the instructor. If you make it interesting, students will come. And we had women in there also.